My sister was a missing persons case for years. I think I just found her. My sister Emma vanished 5 years ago from a grocery store parking lot in Portland. She was 19, had just finished her shift at Target, and security footage showed her walking to her car. Then, nothing. No body, no witnesses, no leads. The case went cold after 8 months. I was getting coffee at a Starbucks in Seattle yesterday when I saw her, standing in line 3 people ahead of me, wearing a green jacket and scrolling through her phone. Same blonde hair, same small birthmark on her left cheek, same way of tucking hair behind her ear when she was concentrating. My heart stopped. I pushed past the other customers and grabbed her shoulder. Emma. Oh my God, Emma. She turned around and looked at me with zero recognition, just confusion and a little fear. Her eyes scanned my face like I was a stranger bothering her on the street. I'm sorry, do I know you? Her voice sounded right, but the words felt wrong. It's me, Ryan, your brother. Where have you been? We've been looking for you for 5 years. Mom thinks you're dead. The woman took a step back, her hand moving to her purse. I think you have me confused with someone else. My name is Claire. I've never seen you before, but it was her. I pulled out my phone and showed her a photo of us from 2 years before she disappeared. Family vacation at the beach, both of us sunburned and smiling. This is you. This is us. What happened to you? She stared at the photo for a long time. Too long. Her face went pale and her hands started shaking. Then she looked around the coffee shop like she was searching for exits. I need to go. She practically ran out the door, abandoning her spot in line. I followed her onto the street, calling her name. She walked faster, not looking back. When I grabbed her arm again, she spun around with tears in her eyes. Please stop following me. You're scaring me. I'm not who you think I am. That's when I noticed the man. He'd been sitting in a car across the street, but now he was getting out, tall, wearing sunglasses, walking straight toward us with purpose. The woman I knew was Emma saw him too, and her whole body tensed. You need to leave right now. She whispered it urgently, still not admitting she knew me. Go home. Forget you saw me. Please. Emma, what's going on? Who is that guy? But she was already backing away. The man reached us and put his hand on her shoulder. Not rough, but possessive. He looked at me with a smile that didn't reach his eyes. My wife gets confused sometimes. Mistaken identity happens. His voice was friendly, but his grip on her shoulder tightened. Come on, Claire. Let's go home. I watched them walk to the car together. Emma didn't look back, but just before they drove away, I saw her mouth something through the window. 2 words I couldn't quite make out. I went straight to the police station and filed a report. Told them I'd found my missing sister in Seattle, that she was alive but claiming not to know me, that a man had taken her away. The detective listened to everything, took notes, asked for a description of the man and the car. Then he pulled up Emma's case file on his computer. His expression changed as he read something. He asked me to wait and disappeared into a back office for 20 minutes. When he came back, he had another detective with him, federal agent type. They sat across from me with serious faces. 4 stopping and stays. 1 there, 1 Sterpingent, stay B17. Mr. Peterson, I need you to tell me exactly what your sister said to you. Every word, every detail about the man. It's extremely important. I told them everything. When I finished, the federal agent leaned forward. Your sister has been in witness protection for 4 years. She testified against a trafficking ring that wanted her dead. If you found her, they might have found her too. My blood went cold. The man in the car. Who was he? The agents exchanged a look. That's what we need to find out, because he's not her protection detail. We need you to remember everything about him. License plate, distinguishing features, anything. And we need to know what your sister mouthed to you through that car window. I closed my eyes trying to remember, her lips moving silently. 2 words. Help me. Because the rest of the story is on my channel or linked below. Help me. The words echo in my head as I sit in a small conference room at the Seattle Police Department. The federal agent who finally introduced himself as Special Agent Donovan is leaning forward, his face a mask of controlled urgency. Mr. Peterson, I need you to focus. The car. Tell me everything you remember about the car. I close my eyes, trying to summon details from the chaos. Dark sedan, black, maybe navy blue, 4-door, newer model but not luxury, maybe a Toyota or Honda. License plate, Donovan presses. I only caught part of it. Washington plates. Started with WXY or WXZ. I think there was a 4 inches it somewhere. A female agent I hadn't noticed before, types rapidly on a laptop in the corner. The fluorescent lights make everything feel too bright, too exposed. And the man? Height, weight, distinguishing features? Donovan continues. Tall, 6'2" maybe. Athletic build, dark hair, short on the sides. Sunglasses covered most of his face. He had this confidence, like he owned everything around him. I swallow hard, and a scar, thin white line along his right jaw. I noticed it when he turned to take Emma to the car. Donovan and the female agent exchange a glance that makes my stomach drop. You recognize him, I say. It's not a question. Donovan slides a folder across the table. We believe the man you saw is Adrian Kovac, second in command of the trafficking organization your sister testified against. I open the folder with trembling hands. The first photo shows a man in a courtroom, handcuffed, but somehow still radiating menace. It's him, the man who took Emma. What's happening? My voice sounds distant to my own ears. You said Emma was in witness protection. Why was she with him? Where was her protection detail? Donovan's expression darkens. 2 hours before you spotted your sister, her protection detail was found murdered in their safe house. Shot execution style. He pauses. And 3 days ago, Viktor Dragovich, the leader of the trafficking ring your sister helped put away, escaped during a prison transport. The room seems to tilt sideways, so they found her, and now they have her. We believe so. Then what the hell are we doing sitting here? I slam my hand on the table. We need to find her. Mr. Peterson Ryan, Donovan says, his tone softening slightly. We have every available agent working on this. The partial plate you provided is already being cross-referenced with known associates of Dragovich's organization. But I need you to understand the severity of the situation. These people are extremely dangerous. They've been operating an international human trafficking network for over a decade. Your sister's testimony put away 17 of their members, and now they want revenge. I finish, the realization making me sick. Yes. The female agent approaches with a tablet. Sir, we've got a hit on the partial plate. Black Toyota Camry registered to a shell company we've linked to Dragovich in the past. Traffic cameras picked it up heading east on I-90 30 minutes ago. Donovan stands immediately. Get a team ready. Alert State Patrol, but tell them not to engage. Observation only. I rise to follow, but Donovan puts a firm hand on my shoulder. You're staying here, Mr. Peterson, for your own safety. That's my sister, I protest. And that's exactly why you're a liability in the field. We're moving you to a secure location until this is resolved. An hour later, I'm pacing the confines of a hotel room 17 floors up in downtown Seattle. 2 agents stand guard outside my door. They've taken my phone, replacing it with a basic burner for emergencies only. The TV drones in the background, some cooking show I'm not watching. A knock at the door makes me freeze. One of the agents enters, followed by Donovan. We tracked the car to an apartment complex in Bellevue, he says without preamble. By the time we arrived, they were gone, but we found this. He hands me a small plastic evidence bag containing a silver charm bracelet. My breath catches. I'd given it to Emma for her 16th birthday, each charm representing a memory we shared. It was deliberately left on the kitchen counter, Donovan explains. They want us to know they have her. Or she left it for us to find, I suggest, hope flaring briefly. Possibly. Either way, it confirms your sister was there. Donovan hesitates. There's something else. I need you to look at some photographs. See if you recognize anyone. He spreads 8 photos across the hotel desk. Men and women of various ages, all with the hard eyes of people who've seen and done terrible things. These are known associates of Dragovich's organization who weren't captured during the initial raids. Some may be helping him now. I study each face carefully, then stop at the 7th photo. This one. He was driving the car today. Kovac. Donovan nods grimly. Adrian Kovac, Dragovich's right hand, former military, expert in weapons combat, and he pauses. Interrogation. The implication makes my blood run cold. What are they going to do to her? Dragovich is a businessman first. He may try to use your sister as leverage, force her to recant her testimony, or provide information that could help their legal appeals. And if she refuses, Donovan doesn't answer, which tells me everything I need to know. We're establishing an emergency response team, he continues instead. Top agents from multiple divisions. Our priority is extracting your sister alive. I want to help, I say firmly. Absolutely not. I'm the only one she trusted enough to signal for help. She'll respond to me, and I know her how she thinks, where she might try to go if she escapes. It's too dangerous. She's my sister. I meet his gaze steadily. And you know I'm right. You need me. Donovan studies me for a long moment. What I'm about to suggest goes against protocol and could cost me my badge. He leans forward. But we could use you as bait. Bait? Dragovich's people are watching. They know you recognized Emma. If they think you might lead them to something, evidence, contacts, anything that could threaten their organization, they might approach you. And when they do, you'll be waiting. I finish. It's extremely risky. You'd be putting yourself directly in their crosshairs. I think of Emma mouthing "help me" through that car window, of 5 years, wondering if she was dead or alive, of the birthmark on her cheek and the way she tucked her hair behind her ear. I'll do it, I say without hesitation. Whatever it takes to get my sister back. Donovan nods slowly. Then we start tomorrow. Get some rest, Mr. Peterson. You're going to need it. I know I won't sleep tonight. Not with Emma out there, captive to the people she risked everything to put away. Not knowing what they might be doing to her right now. Help me, she'd mouthed. And I will, whatever it takes. I'm waking up in a hotel room that doesn't feel real. The sheets are too stiff, the pillows too flat, and the air has that artificial freshness that comes from industrial strength cleaning products. For a moment, I forget where I am, but then it all rushes back. Emma's face in the Starbucks window, her mouthing, "Help me, the federal agents." Adrian Kovac. Agent Donovan knocks at 7 a.m. sharp. He's holding a paper coffee cup and a small black case. "Morning," he says. "All business. Ready to get wired up?" I nod, though I'm not sure I'm ready for any of this. I didn't sleep more than 20 minutes at a stretch all night, my mind replaying Emma's face over and over. The female agent from yesterday, Agent Chen, I learn, joins us and efficiently helps attach a small microphone to my chest, hidden under my t-shirt. The wire runs down to a transmitter that clips to my belt. This will pick up conversations within about 6 feet, she explains, her voice clinical. Try not to touch it or adjust your shirt too much. Act natural. Natural. Right. Like there's anything natural about being bait for human traffickers. We'll be monitoring from unmarked vehicles, Donovan says, checking something on his phone. 3 teams positioned strategically around the coffee shop. If Kovac or any of his people approach, we'll hear everything. What if they search me? I ask. Donovan and Chen exchange a look. They might, Donovan admits. These people are professionals. If they do find the wire, you need to stay calm. Tell them you're working with the police, that we have the place surrounded. It might make them think twice before doing anything drastic. Might, I repeat. We won't let them take you, Chen says firmly. But you need to follow instructions exactly. If we tell you to leave, you leave. If we tell you to drop to the ground, you drop. Understood? I nod again, my mouth too dry for words. An hour later, I'm sitting at the same Starbucks where I saw Emma yesterday, nursing an Americano I haven't touched. Every nerve in my body feels electrified. I keep my eyes on my laptop screen, pretending to work while scanning the street outside. You're doing fine. Donovan's voice comes through the nearly invisible earpiece they've given me. Just keep it natural. 3 hours pass. The morning rush comes and goes. I order another coffee. I don't drink. My back aches from sitting in the same position, afraid to move too much in case I disrupt the wire. Across the street, Chen's voice suddenly says in my ear, small cafe with the green awning, northwest corner table. My heart nearly stops as I casually shift my gaze. There she is, Emma, my sister. She's wearing different clothes today, a blue sweater instead of the green jacket, but it's definitely her. She's alone, reading a book and sipping something from a mug. I see her, I murmur, pretending to cough into my hand. Hold position, Donovan orders. We're scanning for Kovac. I spot him almost immediately. Black sedan parked across from the cafe, engine running. Through the windshield, I can see him watching Emma, sunglasses hiding his eyes, but his posture alert, predatory. Black sedan, 12 o'clock from Emma's position, I whisper. Kovac's inside. Confirmed, Chen replies. We have eyes on the vehicle. Do not engage, Ryan. I repeat, do not. But I'm already standing up, gathering my things. 5 years of not knowing if my sister was alive or dead, and now she's sitting less than 100 feet away. I can't just sit here. Peterson, stand down. Donovan hisses in my ear. You're compromising the operation. I ignore him and walk out of the Starbucks, crossing the street at an angle that keeps me partially hidden by a delivery truck. I hear Donovan swearing in my earpiece, but I keep moving. As I approach Emma's cafe, I see her stiffen slightly. She's noticed me. Our eyes meet through the window, and for just a second, I see recognition flash across her face before it's replaced by a carefully blank expression. I enter the cafe, heart hammering so hard I'm sure everyone can hear it. Emma watches me approach, her fingers tightening around her mug. Don't, she says quietly when I reach her table. Please just Just go. Emma. I'm not Emma, she says, but there's a desperation in her eyes that tells me otherwise. Please leave me alone. I sit down across from her anyway. I know who you are. I know about the trafficking ring. I know you've been in witness protection. Her eyes widen slightly, then dart to the window. Kovac is still in his car, but he's sitting up straighter now, watching us intently. They killed my protection detail, she whispers, her voice barely audible. They found me. If I don't cooperate, they'll kill me too. The FBI is here, I tell her. They're watching right now. We can protect you. Emma shakes her head minutely. You don't understand. Dragovich has people everywhere, even in federal agencies. How do you think they found me? She reaches for her napkin and, with movements so subtle I almost miss them, slides a folded piece of paper underneath my hand. They're watching, she whispers. Tuesday. Storage facility. Before I can respond, the cafe door opens. I don't need to look to know who it is. Emma's face tells me everything. Her features instantly rearrange into a mask of polite confusion, like I'm just some stranger bothering her. Claire. Kovac's voice comes from behind me. Is this man bothering you? I turn slowly. Up close, Kovac is even more intimidating than he appeared from a distance. The scar along his jaw stands out starkly against his tanned skin. Just a misunderstanding, Emma says, her voice completely different, now lighter, with a slight southern accent I've never heard her use before. He thought I was someone else. Kovac places a hand on my shoulder, squeezing hard enough to make me wince. Time for you to leave, friend. Peterson, we're moving in, Donovan says in my ear. Stall him. I was just going, I say, standing up slowly. As I do, I feel something hard press against my side, a gun hidden beneath Kovac's jacket. I know who you are, Ryan Peterson, he murmurs, his mouth close to my ear. And I know you're wearing a wire. Tell your federal friends if they make a move. Your sister dies first, then you. My blood turns to ice. There are agents all around us, I say, loud enough for the wire to pick up. You won't make it 10 feet, Kovac smiles, and it's the coldest expression I've ever seen, maybe. But you'll still be dead. He glances at Emma. Let's go, Claire. Your brother and I need to have a private conversation. Emma stands obediently, gathering her things. As she passes me, our eyes meet for just a second, and I see the real Emma there, terrified but determined. Now, Donovan's voice commands in my ear, and suddenly the cafe door bursts open. Everything happens in a blur. Agents flood in from multiple directions. Kovac shoves me hard against the table, sending coffee flying. I hear Emma scream as he grabs her arm, dragging her toward the back exit. I scramble to my feet and lunge after them, ignoring the shouts from Donovan to stay down. I catch a glimpse of them disappearing through the kitchen, Kovac's gun now visible in his hand. By the time I make it to the back alley, Kovac is shoving Emma into the black sedan that somehow appeared there. And Agent Chen is on the ground, clutching her shoulder as blood seeps between her fingers. Ryan, get back! Donovan yells, appearing beside me with his weapon drawn. But it's too late. The sedan peels away, tires screeching. As it passes, I see Emma's face in the window, her expression desperate. But she's not looking at me, she's looking at Donovan, and there's something in her eyes I can't quite read. Damn it. Donovan holsters his weapon and speaks rapidly into his radio. All units, black Toyota Camry heading south on Pike. Suspect is armed and dangerous with a hostage. Did you get a tracker on the car? I ask, my voice shaking. A grim smile crosses Donovan's face. Better. Agent Chen managed to place a tracking device on the undercarriage during the confrontation. That's why she was down. As paramedics rush to help Chen, Donovan pulls me back toward a waiting SUV. We're tracking them now. Signals strong and clear. Where are they going? I ask, climbing into the vehicle. Donovan checks his tablet, his expression tightening. Heading east, out of the city. Looks like they're going to an industrial area. He zooms in on the map. An abandoned warehouse district outside Seattle. I think of the note. Emma slipped me, still clutched in my palm. I unfold it carefully. Tuesday. Storage facility on Aurora Avenue, Unit 247. Come alone. Trust no one. The handwriting is unmistakably Emma's. The same slightly tilted script from a lifetime of birthday cards and notes passed in high school classes. I should show it to Donovan, but Emma's warning echoes in my mind. Dragovich has people everywhere, even in federal agencies. I slip the note into my pocket as Donovan focuses on coordinating with his team. Tuesday is only 2 days away. I don't know what's waiting at that storage facility, but I know one thing for certain. I'll be there, with or without the FBI's knowledge. Because if there's one person in this world I trust completely, it's my sister. And if she says trust no one, that's exactly what I'm going to do. The warehouse raid is scheduled for Tuesday night. 3 days feels like an eternity when your sister's life hangs in the balance. I pace the hotel room, studying the map Donovan left behind, showing the abandoned warehouse where Emma's signal led them. We'll have tactical teams positioned here, here, and here. Donovan had explained earlier, pointing to various entry points. Infrared scanning shows at least 6 heat signatures inside the building. We believe one is your sister. I nod like I'm fully on board with their plan, but Emma's note burns in my pocket. Trust no one. The words echo in my head like a warning bell. When Donovan finally leaves, I wait exactly 17 minutes before slipping out of the hotel room. The 2 agents stationed outside are changing shifts. A 3-minute window I've timed carefully over the past day. I take the service elevator down to the parking garage where I've arranged for a rental car using a prepaid card. My mother's house is a 40-minute drive from Seattle. She moved there after Emma disappeared, unable to stay in our childhood home with all its memories. I haven't told her about seeing Emma. How could I give her hope only to potentially crush it again? The house is dark when I arrive. Mom's working night shift at the hospital, just as I'd hoped. I use my spare key to let myself in, moving through the familiar rooms guided by muscle memory more than sight. I head straight for the attic access in the hallway ceiling. Mom brought all of Emma's things here after she was declared missing, unable to part with them but too pained to see them daily. The pull-down ladder creaks as I climb into the musty space above. Cardboard boxes labeled Emma in Mom's neat handwriting are stacked against the far wall. I start opening them one by one. Clothes, books, high school mementos. In the third box, beneath a stack of college acceptance letters Emma never got to use, I find what I'm looking for. A small leather-bound journal with a tree embossed on the cover. I remember giving it to her for her 18th birthday. For your deep thoughts, I'd teased. Emma had rolled her eyes but kept it close afterward. Back in the rental car, I flip through the journal under the dome light. The first entries are typical teenage stuff. Complaints about classes, crushes on boys, arguments with mom. But around the middle, the tone changes dramatically. April 15. Saw something at work today that didn't seem right. Girl came in with an older man. She looked scared, wouldn't make eye contact. When I asked if she needed help. The man answered for her, said they were just passing through town. Something felt wrong. April 23, same man came back with different girl. Both had Eastern European accents. Girl had bruises on her wrists. I told my manager, but she said not to get involved in domestic situations. May 7, followed the man after my shift. He took the girl to a house near the industrial district. Saw 3 other girls being brought inside. Taking pictures tomorrow. The entries continue, documenting what Emma was seeing. A human trafficking operation happening right under everyone's noses. She'd been gathering evidence, taking photos, writing down license plate numbers and descriptions. The final entry makes my blood run cold. May 30. I think they've noticed me watching. Black car followed me home today. Going to the police tomorrow with everything I have. If something happens to me, look in the storage unit on Burnside. Unit 119. Key is taped inside this book. I flip to the back cover and sure enough, there's a small key taped to the inside. The date of the last entry is exactly 1 day before Emma disappeared. She wasn't randomly abducted. She was targeted because she was gathering evidence against them. My phone buzzes with a text from Donovan. Where are you? Agents reported you missing. Call immediately. I ignore it and start the car. The storage facility on Aurora Avenue that Emma mentioned in her note is a 30-minute drive. I need to get there before the FBI realizes where I'm going. The facility is one of those 24-hour places with minimal security. Just a keypad at the gate and security cameras that look like they haven't been maintained in years. Unit 247 is near the back, partially hidden by an abandoned moving truck. I approach cautiously, scanning for any sign I'm being watched. The unit's padlock is new compared to the others, recently placed. I try the key from Emma's journal, but it doesn't fit. Of course not. That was for her old storage unit in Portland. You came alone. Good. I whirl around to find Emma standing behind me, her hair now brown and cut short. She's wearing dark clothes and a baseball cap pulled low over her eyes. Emma, I start, moving toward her. She holds up a hand to stop me. Not here. We need to move quickly. She produces a key and unlocks the unit, sliding the door up just enough for us to duck inside. Once the door is closed, she flicks on a small flashlight, illuminating stacks of plastic bins and file boxes. I found your journal, I tell her, holding it up. You were investigating them before they took you. Emma nods, moving to one of the plastic bins. I was stupid. Amateur. I thought I could gather evidence and take it to the police, like some kind of teenage detective. Her voice is bitter. Instead, I led them straight to me. What happened after they took you? I ask, watching as she pulls files from the bin. They kept me for 8 months, she says, her voice flat. Drugged me, moved me around. I was lucky they didn't put me to work like the others, because Dragovich had other plans for me. The way she says it makes me sick to my stomach. How did you escape? One of the girls they'd brought in was actually an undercover FBI agent. She helped me get out during a transfer between locations. Emma hands me a thick file. This is everything I've gathered in the 4 years since names, locations, bank accounts, the entire network. Why didn't you just give this to your protection detail? I ask, flipping through pages of photographs, bank statements, and handwritten notes. Emma's eyes darken. Because the FBI has a leak. Someone high up. That's how they found me in witness protection. She takes a deep breath. That's why I needed you. Someone outside the system who I could trust completely. A noise outside makes us both freeze. Footsteps, multiple sets, moving quickly toward the unit. They followed you, Emma whispers, her eyes wide with fear. Impossible. I was careful. The door to the unit suddenly rattles violently. Emma grabs the file from my hands and stuffs it into a backpack along with a laptop from one of the bins. There's another way out, she says, moving to the back wall. She pushes aside a stack of boxes, revealing a hole cut in the wall that leads to the adjacent unit. Come on. We crawl through just as the door to the first unit crashes open. I hear men shouting, the sound of bins being overturned. The second unit opens onto a back alley where a motorcycle is parked. Emma tosses me a helmet. You remember how to ride? She asks, throwing her leg over the bike. I nod, pulling the helmet on. It's been years since she taught me on her old Honda, but some skills you don't forget. As we speed away, I look back to see 3 men emerge from the storage facility. One of them is Adrian Kovac, his face contorted with rage. He shouts something into a radio before jumping into a black SUV. They're following us. I yell over the engine's roar. Emma nods, accelerating through a yellow light just before it turns red. The SUV blows through the red light, nearly causing an accident. We weave through traffic, heading toward the industrial district. Emma handles the motorcycle with the skill of someone who's spent years evading pursuit. Every time I think we've lost them, the SUV appears again, gaining ground. Why did you pretend not to know me at the coffee shop? I shout as we take a sharp turn down an alley. I had to, Emma calls back. If they knew I recognized you, they would have killed you on the spot. We emerge onto a main road, only to find another black sedan waiting at the intersection. Emma swerves hard, nearly laying the bike down as we change direction. They're hurting us, she yells. They've got people all over the district. The industrial waterfront looms ahead, a maze of shipping containers and warehouses. Emma navigates through narrow passages between buildings, but with each turn, our options dwindle. The sounds of engines behind us grow louder. Emma, why did you fake memory loss? I ask, as we pause behind a warehouse, catching our breath while Emma checks her phone for an escape route. She looks up at me, her eyes filled with a mixture of guilt and determination, because it was the only way to stay alive long enough to finish what I started. If they thought I had amnesia, they wouldn't worry about what I might remember. What you started? Taking down the entire network, not just the foot soldiers, the politicians, the cops, the businessmen who fund the whole operation. She tucks her phone away. I've spent 4 years gathering evidence against people whose names never came up in the original case. A bullet pings off the metal siding near our heads, sending us both ducking for cover. Emma revs the engine, and we're moving again, zigzagging between shipping containers. There. I point to a gap between warehouses that might lead back to the main road. Emma guns the engine, but as we approach the gap, another SUV screeches to a halt, blocking our path. We veer sharply, nearly losing balance as we change direction again. The waterfront is getting closer. I can see the dark water of Puget Sound beyond the last row of warehouses. Emma takes us down a narrow alley that ends in a loading dock overlooking the water. She brakes hard, the motorcycle skidding to a stop at the edge of the concrete platform. Below us is a 15-foot drop to the water. We have to jump! Emma shouts, already removing her helmet. Before I can respond, headlights illuminate the alley behind us. 2 SUVs and a sedan block our escape, their engines idling as men with guns emerge from the vehicles. Adrian Kovac steps forward, his scarred face twisted in a smile that doesn't reach his eyes. Nowhere left to run, he says, his voice carrying across the space between us. Give me the files, Emma, and maybe I'll let your brother live. Emma stands tall, positioning herself slightly in front of me. It's over, Adrian. Copies of everything are already with journalists and the Justice Department. Kill us if you want, but you can't stop what's coming. Kovac's smile falters for just a moment before he raises his gun. Then I guess we have nothing left to discuss. The sound of sirens in the distance makes everyone freeze. Kovac glances over his shoulder, momentarily distracted. Emma grabs my hand and whispers. When I count to 3, we jump. I squeeze her hand in response, my heart hammering in my chest. 1. Kovac turns back to us, his expression hardening as he realizes what we're planning. 2. He raises his gun, aiming directly at Emma's chest. 3. We turn and leap off the edge of the dock just as a gunshot echoes through the night air. I feel the bullet whiz past my ear as we plummet toward the dark water below. The last thing I see before we hit the water is a fleet of police cars and FBI vehicles swarming the dock above, and Kovac's face contorted with rage as he realizes he's trapped. Then we're underwater, the cold shocking my system as Emma pulls me deeper, away from the bullets now peppering the surface above us. In this moment, despite the danger and the uncertainty of what comes next, one thought crystallizes in my mind. After 5 years of not knowing if my sister was alive or dead, I'm finally certain of one thing. Emma is a survivor, and with her by my side, maybe I can be one too. The impact of the water knocks the breath from my lungs. It's shockingly cold, the kind that makes your muscles seize and your brain short circuit. Emma's hand finds mine underwater, tugging me deeper, away from the surface where bullets are still peppering the water. My lungs burn as we swim horizontally, staying submerged until I think I might pass out. Finally, Emma pulls us up behind a cluster of pilings, gasping for air. The sounds of chaos echo from above, shouting, sirens, the squeal of tires on concrete. Blue and red lights reflect off the water's surface, casting eerie patterns across Emma's face. Are you hit? She whispers, her eyes scanning me frantically. I shake my head, spitting out harbor water. You? Graze my shoulder, but it's nothing. She winces as she reaches for a metal ladder embedded in the concrete wall. Come on, we need to move. We climb up to a narrow maintenance walkway that runs beneath the dock. Above us, I can hear the unmistakable sounds of a raid in progress, agents shouting commands, the crackle of radios, the thud of bodies hitting the ground. FBI! Down on the ground, hands where I can see them. Emma presses a finger to her lips and leads me along the walkway until we reach a utility door. She produces a small tool from her pocket and has the lock picked in seconds. Where did you learn to do that? I whisper as we slip inside what appears to be a maintenance shed. Survival skills 101, she replies grimly. When you're on the run from people who want you dead, you pick things up quickly. She rummages through a locker and tosses me a pair of overalls. Put these on, we need to blend in. As I change out of my soaking wet clothes, I watch Emma. 5 years of not knowing if she was alive, and now here she is, resourceful, determined, and so different from the sister I remember. The Emma who disappeared was a college student with dreams of becoming a social worker. This Emma picks locks, rides, motorcycles through traffic at breakneck speeds, and carries evidence that could bring down an international criminal organization. I have a safe house about 3 miles from here, she says, wringing water from her hair. We just need to get past the perimeter they've set up. Emma, I say, catching her arm, why don't we just go to Donovan? He can protect us, help us with the evidence. No, her voice is sharp, definitive. I told you, there's a leak. I don't know who to trust. But the raid could be legitimate, or it could be a cleanup operation. She zips up her borrowed overalls. Think about it, Ryan. How did they find me in witness protection? How did they know exactly where to look for us tonight? Before I can respond, the door to the shed bursts open. We both freeze, but it's not Kovac or his men. It's Agent Donovan, gun drawn, flanked by 2 other agents. Ryan Peterson, he says, lowering his weapon slightly, and Emma Peterson. You two are hard to keep alive. Emma positions herself between Donovan and me. How did you find us? Tracking chip in your brother's watch, Donovan replies. Standard procedure for protective custody. I glance down at my wrist, betrayed by my own timepiece. We need to talk, Emma says cautiously. But not here. Donovan nods. We've secured the area. Kovac is in custody, but he's not talking. 3 of his men are dead, 2 more wounded and in custody. He holsters his weapon. The evidence you gathered, we need it. How do I know I can trust you? Emma demands. You don't, Donovan admits. But right now I'm your best option. Dragovich's organization has been alerted. They'll send more people, better people. Emma and I exchange glances. She gives me an almost imperceptible nod. The files are in her backpack, I tell Donovan. Everything she's gathered on the trafficking network. 30 minutes later, we're sitting in a secure FBI field office. Emma's shoulder has been treated. The bullet grazed her, but didn't do serious damage. We've been given dry clothes, hot coffee, and a moment to breathe. I need to tell you everything, Emma says quietly as we wait for Donovan to return. From the beginning, she tells me how after they abducted her from the Target parking lot, she was drugged and transported to a house outside Portland. How Dragovich himself came to inspect her, deciding she was too valuable to put into their regular trafficking operations. He liked that I fought back, she says, her voice hollow, said it showed spirit. He kept me separate from the others. I reach for her hand, and she lets me hold it, something she hasn't allowed until now. During those 8 months, I started gathering information, listening to conversations, memorizing names, schedules. They thought the drugs kept me compliant, but I'd learned to hide the pills under my tongue. Her eyes are distant, remembering. When the FBI raid happened, I managed to escape in the chaos, but I didn't go to the authorities right away. Why not? Because I'd overheard enough to know there were people in law enforcement involved. I didn't know who to trust. She takes a deep breath, so I went underground, gathered more evidence, built my case. When I finally approached the FBI, I had enough to convince them to put me in witness protection while they built their case. Your testimony put 17 of them away, I say, recalling what Donovan told me, but not all of them, not the ones with real power. She looks up as Donovan enters the room. Did you find him? Donovan nods grimly. Border Patrol just apprehended Dragovich, trying to cross into Canada. The evidence you provided gave us everything we needed. Bank accounts, properties, contacts. His entire network is being dismantled as we speak. Emma's shoulders sag with relief, but there's still tension in her jaw. And the leak? Assistant Director Mercer, Donovan confirms. We found the money trail in the files you gathered. He's been on Dragovich's payroll for years. He was my handler, Emma says bitterly. The one person who knew all my safe houses, all my routines. Donovan sits across from us. I've been investigating investigating him for months, but couldn't move without evidence. Your files gave us that. So it's over? I ask, hardly daring to believe it. The immediate threat, yes, Donovan says. But the aftermath, that's just beginning. 3 weeks later, I'm standing on our mother's porch, my heart hammering in my chest. Emma stands beside me, her hair back to its natural blonde, though still shorter than she used to wear it. The small birthmark on her left cheek is visible now. She'd covered it with makeup during her years in hiding. Ready? I ask. She tucks a strand of hair behind her ear, that familiar nervous gesture I'd missed for 5 years, and nods. I ring the doorbell. There's shuffling inside. Then the door swings open. Mom stands there, frozen, her eyes widening as she takes in the sight of her daughter. Emma, she whispers, her voice breaking. Hi, Mom, Emma says softly. Mom reaches out with trembling hands, touching Emma's face like she's afraid she might disappear. Then she pulls her into a fierce embrace, sobbing against her shoulder. I stand back, watching my family begin to heal after 5 years of brokenness. The days that follow are a blur of tears, laughter, and difficult conversations. Emma moves back into her old bedroom, though she admits she can't sleep without checking the locks 3 times and keeping a weapon nearby. The trauma of her ordeal manifests in nightmares that wake the whole house. In moments when she suddenly goes still and distant, her mind somewhere else entirely. It's PTSD, she explains matter-of-factly one night, as we sit on the back porch watching the stars. The therapist says it might never fully go away, but I can learn to manage it. You're the strongest person I know, I tell her. She smiles faintly. I had to be. But now, she looks toward the house where Mom is visible through the kitchen window, cooking dinner like it's any normal evening. Now I can maybe learn how to just be Emma again. The trials begin a month later. Emma testifies against Dragovich, Kovac, and 12 others, including Assistant Director Mercer. Her voice never wavers as she recounts the horrors she endured and witnessed. I sit in the back of the courtroom every day, a silent pillar of support. When the verdicts come in guilty on all counts, Emma doesn't celebrate. She simply nods, as if confirming something she already knew. What now? I ask as we walk out of the courthouse on the final day. Now we help others, she says with quiet determination. There are thousands of victims out there, Ryan. People who need a voice, who need someone who understands what they've been through. 6 months later, the Peterson Foundation for Trafficking Survivors opens its doors. Emma serves as executive director, using her experience to create programs specifically designed for long-term recovery and reintegration. I quit my job to handle the administrative side, fundraising, and public awareness campaigns. Our first client is a 17-year-old girl, rescued from a situation disturbingly similar to Emma's. When she arrives at our center, she won't make eye contact or speak above a whisper. Emma kneels in front of her, gently taking her hands. I know you don't believe this right now, she says softly, but one day, this will be just a chapter in your story, not the whole book. The girl looks up, meeting Emma's eyes for the first time. How do you know? She asks. Emma smiles, a real smile that reaches her eyes, something I see more frequently these days, because I lived it. And if I can find my way back, so can you. Later that night, as we're locking up the center, I catch Emma staring at the framed photo on her desk, the beach vacation picture I'd shown her that day in Starbucks, the one that had made her eyes fill with tears, even as she denied knowing me. Do you ever wish you could go back? I ask. To before all of this happened? She considers the question, running her finger along the frame. No, she says finally. I wish the suffering hadn't happened to me or anyone else, but I can't regret becoming the person I am now. She looks up at me. I can't regret finding my purpose. As we walk to our cars, Emma suddenly stops and looks up at the night sky. You know what I missed most during those years in hiding? She asks. What? This, she says simply. Having someone who knows the real me. All of me. Not just Claire or the witness or the victim, just Emma. I put my arm around her shoulders, and for once, she doesn't flinch at the unexpected contact. Well, I say, I've always known who you are, even when I didn't know where you were. She smiles and tucks her hair behind her ear. Let's go home, Ryan. And we do, driving back to the house where our mother waits with dinner, where Emma's nightmares are gradually becoming less frequent, where healing happens in small, steady increments. It's not the life we would have chosen 5 years ago, but it's ours now, hard-won and precious. Emma was a missing persons case for years. Now she's found not just by me, but by herself. And in helping her find her way back, I've discovered parts of myself I never knew existed. We're both different now, shaped by what we've endured and what we've overcome. But we're together. And for now, that's enough.